Hi, I'm Paulo from Chupan Games, and in this class we will learn how to parse a table and create virtual fields and use those fields to implement actions in the game. We will start implementing the attack action. I've imported this weapons table here, and you see that it has some fields which are not exactly ready for gaming or for use this in criteria. For instance, we have a damage field here which says not only the roll dice for damage, but if it's piercing and bludgeoning and so on. We will learn how to split this into two virtual fields in order to use these virtual fields with programming. The first thing we have to do is to create a table operation. Here, we'll call this damage. It usually is the same name of the field. You have to choose a field to parse in this operation. Please remember, we are parsing the damage field, which has a roll dice here, a space between them, and text here, which is repeated. See, slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, and always a roll dice here, a space, and a text. Now, we click here, it opens our usual programming window, and we will use the parsing nodes to do that. We use the parse single node when we already know the number of fields we want to extract. For instance, in this case, we know that we want to create two fields, one for the roll dice and one for the type of damage. There are other situations when we have multiple fields to parse, and then we will use the parse many. So it's here. It has an input, and the input is from here. This will give you the exactly field that is in the table. This returns a string with the field we want to parse. Then we add this token rule here to parse the string. Okay. Think of it this way. It's a field, a text field enters here and pass through tokens, and each token will extract some part of the string and left the rest to be parsed again. We have a string here, again I will go back there, that has this format. Okay? It has a roll dice and a text and a space between them. So, the first string will be parsed as a dice roll, okay? And the second string will be parsed. I will put another token rule here. Will be parsed as letters. And I will put in the always ignore field a space. Let me explain. The always ignore field kinds of jumps every character that is here. For instance, if you put A here, he skips all A's in the string. In this case, we just want to skip the space between the roll die and the text. Let's review this. This is not common programming. The field enters here. It has, for instance, 1d6 piercing. He enters into this token rule, and this token rule will extract the dice roll from that string. So it will retain the 1d6 and will pass along a space and piercing. And this will ignore the space and add all letters to this token. It's good practice to name it just to help you, but it's not needed. But I will put here row just for organizing things and kind. Then we use the create field to create the virtual fields. The first field will be the damage roll. It will be a text. And the value will be exactly what has been parsed in the first token. Okay, roll token. Then we'll create a second create field. The field name will be damage kind. Data type will be text. We will drag the second token here, and we have the kind token. This parse the string and puts the rest away. So this parses the dice roll. Remember, 1d6 piercing. This retains 1d6 and this retains the piercing, and it jumps the space here. Okay, there's a space here. And now we create two virtual fields, one with the damage roll and one with the damage kind. We are finished here. We'll go back to our table editing. Okay, and we have this button, apply operation. This can be used several times. Each time you create a new operation or change an operation, you will reapply all operations in the table and create the virtual fields. The idea is for the virtual fields to be created from the operation, like this. Click here. It creates virtual fields, damage roll and damage kind. Here, we have damage 1d8 slashing, and now we have damage roll 1d8 and damage kind slashing. Separated and ready to be used in the game. We created criteria for tables to be imported exactly as it is in the pen and paper rules. We create criteria to use tables in the best possible way, just like they are in the pen and paper rule. And most of the time, they don't have the columns exactly as we want it. That's why we need a parser to separate things in a way that we can use them.